you looking for inspiration for your next soiree? Do you love looking at Pinterest for unique table setting ideas?
Well, if you do, then Sensational Settings event is the place to be. Joining us this morning is Beverly Heasley, Executive Director of St. Luke's Home, and Kathy Armbruster, Committee Chair of Sensational Settings. Good morning, ladies, and thank you so much for coming.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
And now I would like to know, how long has Sensational Settings been around?
Believe it or not, this will be the 18th annual event this year. So we have quite a long tradition in history in Tucson.
And tell us about the event.
Well, that's the most fun. I mean, especially if you're attending. I mean, it's a lot of work for the rest of us. But honest to goodness, oh my gosh, these designers, we have designers come in and create tablescapes that would just give you amazing ideas for parties for yourself. It can be anything from children's tables to wedding tables to holiday themes. And so there's a great variety of table settings. And these are not just a dinner party table setting. They're like, oh my gosh, this is like a piece of art, just looking at the tables. They put so much energy and creativity into the event. It's just amazingly fun for the attendees.
And this event is a fundraiser, and it benefits both St. Luke's Home and CASA Support Council for Pima County. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
St. Luke's Home is a supervisory care assisted living in Tucson, and it is for low-income elders. So the people who live at St. Luke's Home have incomes less than $25,000 a year. In fact, many of them around $1,000 a month.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's unbelievable. And we were just seeing on the screen some of the pictures of these table settings. I mean, this is a really cool idea to really, develop a fundraiser about the creativity and really the attention to details that something like this really captures.
It absolutely is.
Where did the idea come from?
You know what? I'm not exactly sure. There was a designer in Tucson I know who was very instrumental in getting it started. And anyway, it was a benefit.
One of our
for
board
St. Luke's.
members.
Oh, one of your board members started it.
Christy Spencer.
And did she just love throwing big parties and decorating tables?
Well, she is an event person, yes.
Okay, then that makes sense. Because, I mean, like I said, and you mentioned too, these table decorations are very captivating.
They are. And just a ton of fun. And you can take pictures, and the designers and event planners who design the tables will have their business cards available. And if you're interested in getting some help for your next event, they're there for you. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So does each table have a different theme? It's a designer at each table. Oh, wow. And how many tables are there?
Usually around 35, and it's just quite a spectacle.
So besides walking around and seeing all of the tables, what else is there to do at this event?
Well, there's a very nice high tea buffet, which is quite generous, and then a silent auction. There's a bar, and just a little glass of wine and walk around and bid on some auction items and enjoy all the sensational settings.
Absolutely. Can you give us a sneak peek at any of the auction items?
I think that there's quite a variety, anything from some airline tickets to we have some vintage purses, handbags that were donated by a patron, and so there's just a lot of really fun things. You can do your holiday shopping there.
Oh,
Get
wow,
started
yes.
at least. So.
And it'll be here before you know it.
Right.
I heard that there's like 19 Fridays or something like that before the holiday season, which is crazy.
Yes.
But Beverly, this is obviously a fundraiser. How do you plan to use the money?
Well, we use the money to support the people who live there. And our budget is probably about $1 million a year, and half of the funds come from the elders who live there with their rents and service fees. The other half is all from donors, from events like Sensational Setting, from grants, and from people who care about supporting low-income elders who need assisted living.
Wow.
But we also, one of the other components, because the funding is shared between St. Luke's Home and CASA Support Council for Pima County. And I don't want people to get confused about what CASA, it's not Casa de los Niños, but it is a charity that assists children, and CASA stands for, in this particular case, Court-Appointed Special Advocates, and that's for children in Pima County who've been neglected or abused. The court will appoint somebody to really stay with that child and kind of follow them through check out the home situation, and it's a really wonderful thing. The funding that we provide helps these foster kids often in situations where state funding doesn't cover a certain thing. Maybe it's a ballet lesson or a prom dress or sports equipment. So these are some of the kind of possibilities that the funding they'll use the funding for CASA.
And the exciting thing about St. Luke's and CASA partnering is the fact that we are an Eden alternative community that encourages plants, animals, and children to come into St. Luke's home for a more natural setting. So it becomes intergenerational with the CASA, with the children. So.
Lady, this sounds like such a wonderful event. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
And you're invited to Sensational Settings on October 26th from 12:30 to 4 p.m. at the Jewish Community Center Ballroom, which is at Dodge and River. For tickets, you can call 628-1512. That number again is 625-1512, or online at stlukeshometucson.org.
Coming up, if you have an interest in starting your own business or networking with other women to get ideas for your current one, we have the event for you. We'll tell you about it when we come back.